Welcome back, gamers, to the Hauppauge Gaming tutorial series. I'm Fallen Frog, and this week I'm going to teach you guys about OBS optimization. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys how to optimize OBS so that we can stream onto Twitch and it will be a good experience for all of our viewers. So in order to do that, we're going to go into our settings panel, or you can just click on the settings button right here and it will pop up all of your settings. So we can skip the general tab because that's just going to be language and your OBS profile. So let's go down to encoding. You want to use the X264 encoder, and then I do use a constant bit rate. I like my bit rate to stay the same, constant throughout the whole experience. But you can uncheck this if you don't mind having your bit rate fluctuate. It would only fluctuate really during, say if you have you're playing a card game, Cards Against Humanity or Solitaire or something. There's not a lot of action on screen that takes place all at once, versus something like a first-person shooter where you've got gun sights aiming up and then the background is constantly changing. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on, so the bit rate will fluctuate depending on what's needed. I like mine to stay constant, so I do have that checked. Now, as far as determining what bit rate to use, what you're going to want to do is go and you need to have your upload speed. So if you know what your upload speed is, you can figure it out. Otherwise, go to speedtest.net, or any site that will generate a speed test for you. You can generate a speed test and figure out what your upload speed is. That's going to be important with this guide. So we have our upload speed, so we figure that out. If you know what kind of processor you have in your computer, you can figure out. This is like a rough guideline. This helps you determine what bit rate to use depending on what frame rate and resolution you're going to stream at. So 10 plus for me, because I was at 17.7 on my upload speed. So I'm on the bottom bar, and then if we go all the way across, I have an 8-core processor, so I can pretty much with my computer and my internet speed, I can pretty much stream at any of these resolutions I want, and with the frame rate I want. What I choose to do is I choose to do 720p at 30 frames per second. So if you pick one of your frame rates and then you follow it over here, you can see what a low quality bit rate you would need would be, and then a high quality, and then extreme quality from there. You want to pick somewhere in between. So the first number I chose was 2400, and it's worked for me. I could definitely go higher if I wanted to, but I haven't felt the need to really. My stream works and everyone has a good time, so that's just what I picked. So you'll want to pick something within that realm. Do keep in mind though that at least 20% of your viewers are going to be using less than 3 megabytes per second download speed internet. So basically they're going to have a slower speed, a slower connection. So you do want to take that into consideration for them, especially since most likely if you're not partnered on Twitch already, you don't have quality settings. So if you ever do get those, your users will be able to select which quality to watch your stream at. Until that happens, it's up to you to choose for them. So make sure you choose something that is available for that's not so intensive, that everybody can have a good time and be able to watch the stream. So with that being said, plug in your maximum bit rate right here. Like I said, I just use 2400, and I don't use a custom buffer. I just leave that unchecked, and everything is good for me. It works. If you go down to audio encoding, this is straight from Twitch, so you want to use an AAC codec with 48 kilohertz for the format. The bit rate, what's said to use is somewhere between 64 and 128. So somewhere between there, depending on what works for your system. If just pick a number, and if you got sound, then you're probably good. Channel, there's a stereo option. You can have stereo or mono. And then we come down to our broadcast settings. This is where we'll plug in our stream key for Twitch, where we'll choose what service we're streaming to, our servers, and things like that. So the mode that you have selected is live stream. If you choose live stream, you can still make recordings. So I just leave it on live stream. You don't have to change this to do a recording at all. Streaming service, Twitch. You can choose another service if you want and then plug in your information as needed. The FMS URL, this is where you're going to select which server you want to stream your OBS data to be sent to. So you want to pick somewhere that's close to where you're at. Somewhere, it doesn't have to be the one that's the closest, but you don't want to send it all the way across the world. Send it, do pick somewhere that's close to your vicinity. The play path stream key, this is where we're going to get our stream key and plug this in. Now you get this from using Twitch as the example because that's what I use. This is my dashboard, so if you go to twitch.tv/whatever your channel's name is /dashboard, you can find this page, and then you want to click on stream key. So this is where your stream key will be located. Once you click show key, it will remove the button and reveal your stream key. So I'm not going to click it in this video because if I did, I'm going to have to go through and change it in all of my programs. With that stream key, anybody who sees that would be able to plug that into OBS and stream to my channel. So I'm not going to reveal my key, but you reveal your key, and then once it shows up, it's going to be _live and then a whole bunch of random numbers and characters. You're just going to right click and copy all of that and then come back over to OBS and you're going to paste it right there. You can have it selected to auto reconnect. This is in case you get disconnected from your stream. Things happen sometimes, and if you get disconnected, OBS can try to automatically reconnect for you. And you can have that timeout after so many times as well. Moving further down, we have automatically save stream to file. This is important because Twitch no longer will save your broadcasts permanently. If you're a non-turbo user, it will save your broadcast for 14 days. And if you're a turbo user, it will save it for 60 days. But after that, it is gone. So if you'd like to back up your streams personally, manually, you want to be in control of that, you can select this box and then choose where those are saved right here. I have mine being saved into into my videos folder. And that's where you'll select all that. So we'll go down to our video settings. I'm not going to apply my changes because I removed my stream key when I selected my service. So I'm just going to hit no, but you would want to apply your settings, of course. Once you go to video, you select your video adapter. I've only got the Asus one available for me, for my system. The base resolution, you'll select, sometimes I have mine set to 1920 at 1080 because sometimes I do play PC games and I play those at 1080, but I do downscale my resolution to 720 for my streams. This is just because I do 720p at 30 frames per second, so it's whatever works for your personal preferences. That's just what I use. So even though I can still play my games in 1080 on my monitor, and I can still play them at the resolution I want to, my stream will see them at 720. It'll just automatically downscale it because it's less intensive for I don't know what everybody's internet is at, so I just make sure everybody has a equal viewing experience. The filter you want to use is bilinear, so bilinear fastest, so make sure you have that selected. And then FPS, I just run at 30. You can change that right here though. If we move on to our audio settings, so the desktop audio device, this is going to be where OBS gets all its sound. So I just have it set to speakers because any sounds that come from my speakers will play through and OBS will pick that up. Underneath that is where you'll select your microphone. And then down here you have some options for push to talk delay, which is just a delay that can be enabled on push to talk. You have desktop and microphone boosts. These are here if you've got your microphone turned all the way up and you have your game, you've adjusted all of your audio, but you still need an extra boost, whether the game can't be heard at all or your microphone can't be heard at all. So you can add to those and it will apply a slight boost. You can see I have my microphone is boosted just a little bit more than my desktop, so that my microphone stays clear over my gameplay. I make sure that they can hear my commentary over the gameplay because that's what I feel is more important. The mic sync offset milliseconds. You'll notice that this is at 1500. I don't know if this would be the actual number I would need. to make this work. But what this is going to do is, if we go back to Hauppauge capture, if you've used Hauppauge capture and you've tried to play a game and watch Hauppauge capture at the same time, you know that there's a slight delay as it encodes that video. It's only about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds, somewhere in there, but it is a slight delay, and it, you know, if you're just starting out, it can be quite a headache to figure out how to fix that. This is where you'll fix that in OBS. So this will apply to your microphone. You'll also want to do this to your webcam if you enable a webcam in your O.B.S. settings as well. And I'll show you where to do that when we cover the webcam later. But for right now, you know, so if with 1500 in here, this is 1.5 seconds. So this will, anytime I speak into the microphone as OBS is recording or streaming, it will wait 1.5 seconds before it applies what I've said. And what you would basically do is just, I can't unfortunately tell you what number to put there for your system. So start with 1500 or 2000, boot up a game and just, you know, jump, make your character jump or something rudimentary, something easy that you can do, and just record the action and say jump as you're pressing the button. What you want to do is make sure your voice matches when you said it in the game. If you're saying it too quickly before the gameplay action actually takes place, then you need to add to that number. If you're saying it and it's just a little bit too late, subtract from that number. So that's a helpful hint. You know, you'll just, it is a little bit of trial and error, so just do some test recordings before you try to go live to make sure you have that set. And then we'll move on down to, I'm going to skip past hotkeys because I don't really use them, but if you want to use them, you can set them there so that, you know, it's just a quick keyboard shortcut to start streaming or recording or, you know, push to talk, anything like that. Moving down to advanced, now this was all plugged in straight from Twitch, so you want to make sure you use multi-threaded optimizations, and then the process priority class you want to set to normal, because if you set it any higher, it could lag your computer out. So just make sure you have that selected to normal. The scene buffering time, you want to have 400 milliseconds in there. And then down on video, you want to make sure you're at very fast for the X264 CPU preset. And on encoding profile, from what I've gathered, you can have either high or main. It's whatever you choose, but you want to go with main because it's easier for viewers on a mobile device. So it could give them more trouble if you're on high. They might have harder time viewing your stream. I've just always kept it on main personally, and it's worked for me. So the keyframe interval does need to be 2. Make sure that is at 2. That's what Twitch requires. So make sure that is set to 2. And then as we go down here, the only other thing I really want to mention on this page is the global audio sync offset. This works just like the microphone I was telling you about. But instead of affecting the microphone, this is all of your audio from your PC. So that applies to Hauppauge capture, that applies to songs you might have playing, YouTube videos playing that are, you know, running on your browser or just open on your computer. Anything like that, any sound that, you know, it's not from your microphone, it's all the other sound, that you can apply a delay to that as well. But you know, there are probably only certain circumstances where you would want to do that. So you'll probably want to go ahead and just leave that at 0. And then quick sync encoder, I've not touched anything in here. I've not ever needed to, so we can pretty much skip this. The browser plugin is something that we will get into a little bit later. We'll do another tutorial where we add notifications for followers and donations and stuff like that. And then when we do that, we'll be getting a free plugin for the browser. So we'll add that later. And the only other options are microphone noise gate and scene switcher. I've not ever messed with scene switcher. This is actually the first time I've seen it. It's new. So this is actually a completely new feature that I've not had a chance to mess around with yet. And then the noise gate for the microphone, this is just where your threshold is. So you know, anytime you're speaking, you'll have, you know, your microphone might be picking up background noise. If it picks it up, this is where you can move these sliders and just focus your microphone to pick up what you want it to hear. But as far as optimizing our stream, that's all we have to do, really. Now we are good to go. We could take this scene that we built in the previous lesson. We could take this now and start streaming to Twitch, and we would go live. We would go live, and viewers would be able to start coming in and watching the channel. But we want to definitely do some more stuff to this, so throughout the next couple of courses, we're going to be adding more bells and whistles to this scene and really making it something special. So thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Hey, before you go, if you want to see the previous video where I show you how to connect your HD PVR to the original version of OBS, you can check that out up on the top. And if you want to see more of me, you can check out my channel at Fallen Frog. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Really helps the channel, and we'll see you next time.